Hello and welcome along to this week's edition of the Squawka Talker podcast. And with the season now all wrapped up as Carlo reigns supreme in Paris, we are turning our attention to awards season. The Squawka Talker Football Podcast Awards for the 2021-22 season. Right, we're going to get straight into the awards and we're starting with the player of the season, the MVP for 2021-2022. Effectively, our pick for the Ballon d'Or. So this looks at who's had the greatest individual and collective impact on their team's success right the way across the top 5 leagues in Europe. It's a tie-in of performances, trophies won, individual roles, goals scored, goals prevented, etc. But the crucial line, Mo, is their impact in big games. Now, I'm not putting any ideas in anybody's heads. I'm fairly confident I know your pick and Alan's pick, but go on. Your pick for MVP.
Pedri. No, I'm kidding.
No, come on.
It's Karim Benzema. Come on, it's Karim Benzema. There's no one else. There's no one else that can mess with Karim Benzema this season. He's taken off. He's taken over. It's been his season. It was obviously for the start of the year, the first half of the year before Christmas, it was Mohamed Salah and Karim Benzema. The two of them were flying. Everyone looked. And Lewandowski, obviously, Lewandowski's always there scoring the goals, but you can't win. I mean, you should never win these individuals just for scoring goals. I know a certain long-necked Portuguese fellow did, but you should never win these awards. Shoe is for. So I'm sorry, Robert. You should never. He should have won it in 2020 because then if those goals lead to the biggest trophy of all, fair play, right? Maybe you can make an argument for that if the other participants or the other great top players aren't maybe at their best level, which obviously in 2020, Messi was not at his best level, Neymar was not at his best level, Mbappe, so on and so forth. So fair enough, right, in 2020. And, Cristiano, to be fair as well, in 2013, all right, maybe, 2020, maybe. 2014, sorry, maybe. But, most of the time, you shouldn't win for scoring goals. You need to be more than that. So Karim Benzema is more than that. He's not just the leading goal scorer for Real Madrid. Although, by the way, leading goal scorer for Real Madrid, and in fact, actually, second leading goal scorer for all of Europe's top 5 leagues, plus the Champions League. He has 42 goals, which is second only to Lewandowski's, 48. He's not even far behind Lewandowski. 14 assists, which is the joint 6th in the division, or 5th. There's 5 players ahead of him, basically. 20 big chances created, also joint 6th. And what's interesting about those two creative stats is he's level with Messi in those creative stats. So, Messi obviously not had this great season, but it's symbolic, I feel, that Benzema's creative stats are level with Messi's and his goal scoring is way ahead because that's sort of like obviously Messi left La Liga and we were wondering who's going to fill the power vacuum. And Benzema filled the power vacuum at Real Madrid when Cristiano left. Now he's filled the power vacuum in La Liga. Now Messi's left. And it's just like he's taking advantage. He's been sitting next to the throne for so long. No one's been giving him any attention. He's been sitting there like, I'm really good. Everyone's like, nah, you're rubbish, mate. Micah Richards didn't rate him. Gary Lineker questioning him. And, look, to a degree where if you don't watch the league every week, I could kind of get it, I suppose. He's not putting up massive numbers. And if you don't watch Real Madrid regularly, which, as we all know, none of the English media do because they've not got the first clue about how Real Madrid actually play. Maybe you could be fooled into thinking he wasn't a key part of what they do. But then if you watch Real Madrid, you know how important he's been this whole time anyway. And now that they're gone, he's assuming the spotlight. He's just outrageous. He's been fantastic this season. And it's worth pointing out as well, by the way, direct goal involvement. I know it's not necessarily the most, illustrative stat, but Lewandowski's got 54 this season. Mbappe has 55. Benzema has 56. I mean,
yeah.
What can you say about Karim Benzema? He's the man. Back-to-back hat-tricks in Champions League knockout stages. 10 goals in knockout stages of Champions League, equal Cristiano. 15 overall. I think second only to Cristiano in 2015. I think 2014-15. I can't remember when when did he get the 17 goals? One of their 3 peats, I'm pretty sure, was the 17 goals. Anyway, Benzema, just outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Best player in the world. He's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Rightfully so. He's been Real Madrid's leader. And remember, he's wearing the captain armband as well, by the way, half the time for Real Madrid, because Marcelo doesn't really play regularly either. He's their vice captain. He's been wearing their armband. He's been proper leading from the front. Karim Benzema, absolutely amazing. The only sad thing is that the VAR officials spotted the little Fede Valverde touch the weekend, and so Benzema didn't score the winning goal for Real Madrid. That's the only shame. That would have been the perfect way to end the season. But yeah, Karim Benzema, MVP, no questions.
Alan, King Karim, would you agree? Your pick for MVP this season?
Yeah, Karim the Dream, isn't it? Like, he's incredible, I can only echo Mo's thoughts. I mean, 27 goals in La Liga, 15 in the Champions League. It's just remarkable numbers, really. And I think what's underrated too is, like, as Mo alluded to, is that's not just the numbers that tell the whole story. It's, his whole presence, both from a personal perspective and a kind of tactical perspective. Because, if you watch Real Madrid play, he is the most important player by a country mile. I know Luka Modric gets a lot of praise, and it's rightfully so. But alongside Thibaut Courtois, it's Benzema who's the main guy, because not only is he a number 9, as I said many times this season, but he's also a number 10. I mean, he can do both things. He creates space for, the likes of Vinicius and Rodrigo and Fede Valverde, and even Eduardo Camavinga running in, and Luka Modric too, of course. And he's capable of doing everything. So while his hold-up play is excellent, he can also pick a pass. He can start moves and finish them. So, like, we've often seen him this season, fire off a move by playing a ball down the left channel for Vinicius, and then get into the box in time to get on the end of it. Basically, it's a remarkable thing for a 34-year-old to be able to do. And I just think it's been a joy watching him. And as a leader, he's been so important too, because I think in recent seasons he's really put his off-field issues behind him. Obviously the controversy over the sex scandal with the underage prostitute, alongside Frank Ribery a few years ago, the blackmail scandal with Mathieu Valbuena a few years ago as well. I mean, he's obviously back in the French national team now. His kind of personal life seems to be completely in order. He's very, very focused. He lives in the gym, by all accounts. He's obsessed about taking care of his body and making sure that he can prepare for the games in the correct manner. And I think he relishes being the leader as well. I think he really loves being in the spotlight after, Cristiano has left, and as Mo said as well, Lionel Messi as well. And I think that he's kind of relishing his moment in the sun. And he's working very well alongside, the likes of Vinicius and Rodrigo and the other creative players. I mean, I know his relationship with Vinicius has been under the microscope, but apparently they're actually very, very close, because, well, so many other Real Madrid players will go on international break to represent the countries. They'd be working together at Valdebebas together, because, Vinicius only recently broke into the Brazilian team, and Karim Benzema obviously was only recently recalled to their French team as well. So they actually have a very good kind of, big brother, little brother relationship. So, yeah, it's been an amazing season from Karim, from first whistle to the last. He's been so consistent. And I think with these award things, it's always not even just the numbers or the performance. It's those things are both important, but the most important thing for me is the impact and the weight of that impact. And I think that in European football, nobody comes close to Karim Benzema in terms of weight of impact this season, not just in La Liga, but also in the Champions League.
Yeah, the way he stood up and just was led Real Madrid from the front. Particularly, we saw, I think, most especially against Chelsea and against PSG in particular in that second leg, when they were dead and buried, they had no hope, and he just pops up with these three really, really good finishes, really, really, really solid finishes that completely turned that game on its head. And I mean, that was as close to a perfect tennis performance as I've seen since the 5-0 Barcelona 5 Real Madrid 0 when Lionel Messi's game in that five, the performance in that fight, and that was as close to a 10 as I would ever seen. And then Xavi in the World Cup semi-final against Germany. Until then, like that was outrageously good, and I was so close to giving it 10, but he missed two very easy headers in the first half. He should actually have 5 goals in that game, so I gave him a 9. But he's honestly sensational, and it's the way he stood up and led Madrid and been counting for Real Madrid is just so impressive. And yeah, like I said, it's just if only the ref hadn't seen that little tiny touch that Valverde got, he would have won the Champions League winner from profiting from a goalkeeping mistake from Liverpool yet again in another Champions League final. That would have been another little echo as well. But alas, you have to settle with being the Squawka MVP.
I'm going to agree. Obviously, King Karim, 3 votes for Karim Benzema to win the Squawka MVP of the season. You talked about his numbers, you talked about his impact, and they're just immeasurable against anybody else this season. And I think particularly big time, showtime Benzema in the knockout stages of the Champions League, he's been absolutely sensational. He's now got 28 Champions League knockout goals in his career. Only Lewandowski, Messi, and Ronaldo have got more. And this mini battle in the kind of post-Ronaldo Messi era that he's got with Lewandowski, he's won that hands down. Lewandowski will probably always be frustrated about the Ballon d'Or that he was denied, but this time round, Karim wins. And I think, as a little aside, that's my favourite part of this, that as Messi and Ronaldo wind down their careers, there is a vacuum before Mbappe and Haaland take over, and Benzema is getting the recognition that he deserves, because if they had carried on for a few more years, or Mbappe and Haaland were a little bit older, then maybe he might have got missed as an all-time great. So he fully deserves that. My vote and the two guys' votes for King Karim Benzema. Should also say, obviously, a special show, awards ceremony. We have got ourselves a special sponsor. This show is sponsored by William Hill. And if you agree with us in backing Karim to win the Ballon d'Or, he is 1-10 with William Hill to claim the crown.